R.I. Presents.
Sea People Mountain People Chapter 2 Encounter with Mythology. Previous overview. Her father decided on a plan to deal with the migration of the people of Ashihara, but Touka was worried about the migration itself. Her father must have had to decide what to do, but I had an indescribable anxiety. I feel like I'm missing something, but in the end, the migrants were small and they no longer accepted the Wajin in each Kodan, so we'll see how it goes. A few days later, the guard against the attack was lifted and peace returned to Kodan. Every day after that, the adults were busy with their own work, and women, in particular, began to weave a large number of strings together. The process of making the string that I saw for the first time was interesting and surprising. First, the bark of the tree is soaked in water, after which it is pounded with a stick to make it fibrous, and then loosened, after which it is dried in the sun. She then tore the dried fibers into a single string, then bundled them 4 or 5 and began to deftly knit them with her fingertips, but what surprised her was the procedure for connecting the strings. After repeating the process of overlapping the fibers and rotating them with the fingertips several times, the fibers were braided as before, resulting in a single string. After touting one of the resulting strings, the 4 strings were twisted and wrapped around the strings, and at the end, both ends were tied with strings to form a thick rope so that they would not untie. Touka was in charge of making the first string, and the beautiful knitting was a testament to her dexterity. Kanasiapu also came to help from time to time and knitted dexterously, but soon she was gone somewhere. Well, it can't be helped. Recently, many of the men had been going out to build new kodan, and other women were also busy making building materials, so the atmosphere was uncomfortable. One day, after about a month of such days, I received news that the kodan near the coast was completed. The children were the first to rejoice at this news. While the adults were moving around in a hurry, the children seemed to be feeling lonely, running around the kodan to tell their friends the news. The day after receiving the news, at the urging of her father, we went to see the new kodan near the coast. It was a little far from the coast, but I could see the coastline beyond a small hill, and the hills blocked the wind from the coast, so it was the perfect place. When we climbed the hill and looked around, there was a large island and a small island off the coast, and the sea was shallow and the light blue sea water was very beautiful. There is a small river right next to Kodan, so residents don't have to worry about running out of water. I also noticed that there were no pit dwellings in this Kodan. There was a difference between whether all the buildings were on stilts or flat ground, but they were like log cabins. It's amazing that so many houses were built in such a short period of time. However, I was a little confused when I saw the surrounding scenery, especially the island. The reason is that it has become difficult to identify the current location. Was there ever an area with such a large island along the coast of the Japan Sea? I should have studied geography a little more. Even though it's such a big island, I don't remember it at all. However, if they are the real Susano Mikoto or Kushinada, I think there is no doubt that this place is an area between Kyushu and Shimane Prefecture. Another thing I felt when I came here was her father's desire for coexistence and co-prosperity. In order not to have any problems in living, the house and the surrounding environment are well arranged. In this attention to detail, I felt that there was no prejudice against the Wajin. I hope that her father's thoughts can be conveyed to the other person. 2 days later, 2 groups of migrant families who had been contacted in advance arrived in Porokoden. A young couple and their children came. On that day, a welcome party was held in Porokoden, and the next day after they stayed overnight, her father took the family to the new Koden. In the end, only 4 families moved to the new Koden, and there were a few other guards of the village, in which their new life began. Today's story ends. The continuation of the story will be updated Monday. Please look forward to. If you like, please subscribe to the channel. See you again.